Listen to your favorite shows live and on demand 24/7. Download the 77 WABC mobile app now. A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Big day in the economy. And joining us now is Adam Johnson. He hosts several business shows at Bloomberg Television over the number of years. Also a huge business expert on energy and so much more. And interesting day, John. Boy, everyone waiting to see what was going to happen with interest rates, right, John?
Well, Adam, I've always said that they're supposed to be down. Canada was down, Great Britain was down, European Community is down. Why aren't we dropping interest rates, and why we have 675 banks on the watch list? Adam, what do you think?
I'll tell you, it's real simple, John. Interest rates are going to start going down in September. That is good for the economy. That is good for stocks. If you still have cash sitting in your account, put it to work. You want to buy stocks tomorrow. I bought stocks yesterday. I bought stocks today. And as more money comes in from my clients, I will be buying more stocks. And this is key, by the way. It doesn't matter whether you are a Republican or a Democrat. We are all investors. We are all capitalists, and we all want to make money. When interest rates go down, you want to own stocks.
So I saw on Fox Business the other day, or Fox News, I forget, that in the previous, a lot of previous presidential elections, the Fed lowered interest rates in the September month.
Yeah, I know. Shocking to learn that there is gambling in the halls of this fine institution.
I'm shocked.
Right? Unfortunately, yes. That's something that we have seen. Admittedly, it's from every administration that goes back to World War II, and probably before that if we could actually track it. But incumbents do everything in their power to get reelected. It's why Biden, just promised more student loan forgiveness. It's why all of a sudden Kamala Harris, who has always been against energy, says, oh, no, fracking is a good thing. That's because she wants votes in Pennsylvania where they have all that natural gas under the ground. So politicians will do and say anything to get reelected. And part of that is that incumbent Fed Reserve chairmen like Jerome Powell kind of want to keep their jobs too. And one way to do that is lower rates. And unfortunately, it ends up making the incumbent party look better because it helps the economy. I don't like that, and I think it is a political gesture. But here's the thing. This is very important. Unemployment is starting to go up. So as much as I hate to see the Fed lower rates ahead of an election, look, I'm a Republican, right? I don't necessarily want to throw a bone to the Democrats to make them look good. But the fact is, I'm an American first. And I don't like seeing unemployment go up. I want to see people keep their jobs and be able to produce for their families. And as unemployment starts to creep up, you take some of the inflationary pressures out. As inflationary pressures come out, by definition, you need to lower rates. And we've all been dealing with inflation. So again, while I hate to politicize the thing, I do think you need to do the right thing for the economy. And the right thing is to lower rates. And that's good for stocks.
Rudy?
Yes. We agree 100%. Rudy, Washington?
Adam, how should I analyze the whole notion of a pullback?
Yep.
And whether that happens before September?
I think it already happened, Rudy, and I tell you why. As a growth investor, I'm long a lot of tech stocks. The NASDAQ was down almost 10% in less than 2 weeks. Historically, if you look at election years, you tend to do very well in the middle of the summer, and then September, October, which is pretty typical, you get about a 5 to 10% drawdown, and then you get the election, all of a sudden there's certainty, and markets rally 10 to 12% into year end. Well, again, we just had a 10% pullback in the NASDAQ and 8% pullback in the S&P. I think that usual pullback you get in September, October just happened. So that's why I've actually put extra cash to work. Things don't always go according to script, and I think the script got pulled forward this year.
Well, I think the Democratic administration has no choice because, by the way, what I tell my friends are the reason that gasoline is so high and food is so high? Well, the administration caused the problems because the Suez Canal is closed, the Red Sea is closed, so that's costing the value of crude oil to be $10 or $15 a barrel more than it should be.
John, the first thing that Joe Biden did, the very first thing, his day in office, first day in office back in 2020, was to command the Department of the Interior to stop approving drilling on federal land. Well, a lot of the cheapest, easiest oil to get to is on federal land. And so while we have still been pumping because American producers are very creative, God bless them, the fact is we would have access to cheaper oil if the government hadn't gotten in the way. So not only would the price of oil be lower, which benefits consumers, but think of what a different conversation it would be if all of a sudden the U.S. becomes the largest producer in the world, oil is low, we're starving Iran of revenue, we're starving Russia of revenue, and the Chinese are coming to us on their knees saying, we want your cheap oil. What a different conversation would be, but instead Biden made a deal with the far left side of his party and said we got to go green.
Last word. What did President Obama say about Joe Biden's decisions?
Well, how interesting that Obama appears to have been in the back, sort of pulling the puppet strings the whole time, and yet it was Mr. Obama who wouldn't endorse Kamala Harris until 10 days after it became apparent that she was going to be the candidate. Isn't it amazing?
Amazing.
Clinton, both Hillary and Bill, they came right out. All the other Dems came right out. But Obama himself was the last one to endorse it.
Adam Johnson, thank you for coming on. Keep your eyes on the markets, and we'll talk again real soon.